hotel, and we rode the bus to the city.
Oh, and
uh,
went shopping.
Yeah, I went shopping. We come back, I don't remember now who we stayed on night with, somebody. We come back the next day. And he wanted me to drive that car home, and it's a miracle I got it there, but I did.
How funny. Now, my daddy was mad at his mama. How come?
Has what?
Was mad at his mama.
Mad at her?
Yeah, it didn't like her. Was angry with her a lot.
I don't recall anything like that. I just don't remember that. But,
It just seemed that way to me.
well, you mean it just seemed that way?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
And I wondered if it was because Grandpa and her split up,
Yeah.
and he took Grandpa's side or something. I didn't know.
I don't
Well,
know.
that was Grandma Lester caught Grandpa Lester going to see the neighbor lady.
Right,
And I think that's the reason they busted up.
right.
So, and as far as I can gather, Grandpa Lester wasn't very good to Grandma Lester.
He used to hit her.
Yeah, he mistreated her.
Yeah.
I remember, I believe it was May, that he'd come in at noon sometimes, and he'd be so mad he'd kick the table over and dump all the food on the floor. Just the
Wow.
little things like that had been dropped along the way, you know. I
Yeah.
think it's May that told me that. And somebody said he'd go through the house after her with a chair in his hand. She'd be running from him, so. Grandpa Lester wasn't very good to her.
Yeah.
No, back when they lived over on Orange Chapel, back in there, about Nail's Corner, Dad bought a place back over there. And, Carl was telling me one day, he said, I've forgotten now what he told me. He said, Dad is going to leave Mama. And so they've been fighting. I told him, I said, they fought ever since I can remember. I said, it kept us little children, when I was, 5 or 6 years old, it just kept us scared to death.
Yeah.
I remember Dad one time had just an old plain chair, had it over his head and running after her through the house. And I don't know whether he just, I asked Florence one time, I said, Florence, what did Mother do to make him do? Said she didn't do nothing. He was just a jealous person, And I don't know, I guess you knew that Effie and Marvin had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And Marvin was a highly jealous person. And I don't know, I couldn't understand the things that
Grandpa Lester's crazy.
Was it?
Effie was my
Grandpa Lester.
schoolmate, we went to school together, and I've known her all my life, you might say, and we grew up together, and I don't know,
Effie May was
Effie
one
was
of the
a
truest
beautiful,
persons there was in the country.
Effie was a beautiful person, still is, I guess, she's still alive, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
I was trying to get Polly to talk to your little sister, what's her name, that lives up there?
Joyce, Tissy?
Is it
Joyce.
Joyce?
Joyce.
We don't know her by her name.
Yeah, Tissy's her name.
Tissy?
We call her Tissy.
Yeah, Tissy and Casey.
Yeah.
Casey's the slender one.
She's a little one, yeah.
Well, this one is, I was trying to get Polly
Tissy.
to get her to read, we lost my pictures, I told you, and I was trying to get her to tell her have some made and let me have them and let me make some off of them, and I don't know whether she hadn't ever said, I said, well, know where she lives. I thought they worked together, but said she knew where she lived.
No. Jessie's a school teacher.
Yeah, they've been to each other's houses, I think.
I've got it.
Well, that's been on.
I've got your mother's telephone number, I think, at home. And
You was there when they went to the birthday party,
Yeah, I was there.
Paulette went.
Yeah, I got to see her. Yeah. It's good to see her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a good person. I haven't seen Diana though. Where is she?
She just lives about 2 or 3 blocks up north of Pat,
Is that right?
up on Comanche Street in Canadian.
I'll be darned. And what about
Ronnie,
Ronnie? He's out in California. Isn't he?
he's at Gardena, California. Just
How did he get out there?
He's pastor of church.
Did he marry somebody from out there?
No, he married a girl from Lexington.
And they just went out there for church.
Well, he belongs to Assembly, and I guess he got a call from a church or something. He was in Desert, what was that? Desert Storm? Not Desert Storm, but where's that? Lived out in the
he's
desert.
Vietnam.
Where was the desert at? Where did he live out in the desert? He pastored a church out there in California, and then they got transferred to Gardena.
You know, he's got, he had, when he came back from Vietnam, they couldn't get his blood pressure down. And they gave him, I don't know how much percentage disability. And then he worked here at Tinker. And he also worked for the federal government. He retired from got retirement from 3 different places, see.
He retired from Tinker.
And he lost his hearing here about, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and they gave him 100%
Wow.
disability on the Army. And,
Well, see, he retired from Tinker because his blood pressure, they wanted to take a desk job. And he didn't want to, and they told him he could retire with as much pay as he would if he worked till he was 62. So he just retired. And he was in the Air Force Reserve. He retired from that, so he draws a check from that. And he draws a disability check. And his hearing's bad, he has to wear hearing aids in both ears because he had to run them planes, you know,
Yeah.
and that damaged his ears. So he's got 100% disability. He draws good money. And his
But he's
church-
preaching?
Then he's pastor to church.
Okay.
So,
yeah, he called me yesterday. Yesterday was Saturday. He always called me on Saturday.
he always calls
Yeah,
us
this
and
mother.
see how we are. And checked on the tornadoes and,
Did you tell him you're coming down here?
yeah, we told him to come down here.
They must have had a tornado right down here somewhere, all the trees down.
I saw that. I
Yeah.
saw that.
And, ooh,
Pretty amazing. They got it already pretty cleaned up though on some parts
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
area. What about, now you've got another son. Pat called him Cuz.
Glenn,
Who?
Glenn, Jesse Glenn,
Jesse Glenn.
Jesse Glenn,
he
yeah.
lives right across the
Wow.
line
How's
from
he
us
doing?
in a trailer.
How's he doing?
Him and his lady friend.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a bunch of goats and chickens and ducks and geese and,
He's
He
doing
draws-
okay?
oh yeah, he's,
He draws disability Social Security. And then our youngest son, Dennis,
Right.
he got killed about 8 years ago.
Yeah, and the lightning thing. It was so
He
horrible.
was electrocuted at Highline Post, Highline Warrior in the back of my neck.
Yeah. And now, your Dennis was blind, right?
All 3 of them blind.
And Ronnie too?
Yeah, Glenn and Dennis and Ronnie too.
I didn't know that. What kind of blindness is that?
That's that retinitis pigmentosus,
What's that caused from?
inherited.
We all have that. Is that on your side?
Comes from my side of the family,
Does?
yeah.
Okay.
That's partly what's wrong with my eyes.
That just kind of, after a while, makes you blind?
Well, they can see to a certain extent, you know. Glenn can, you know, see a few things, not much, you know. I think he's worse than Ronnie is.
Yeah, I was wondering, because Grandma Lester, didn't she have glaucoma or something?
She had cataracts,
Cataracts. Somebody told me she had glaucoma.
and I think she had glaucoma. Gracie said she had her eyes checked ever so often, said she had glaucoma. But she had cataracts. See, when we moved back from Rosedale, I took Grandma Lester to Ada, and she had the cataracts took off of her eyes. But if they had done that way back yonder, when they first farmed, she wouldn't have went blind.
Yeah.
But then
We
nobody,
didn't used to do that though, did we? We didn't take care of ourselves like that.
no, then nobody seemed to, care or anything. So
No, this blindness that my boys has got, it's the nerves that runs in the back of their heads, and they claim that someday they'll be able to medically correct it, but it'll be some time before they're working on it.
Yeah.
I know here it's a nervous system. I know here some time ago I was at the Veterans Hospital and I was talking to somebody. And I was telling this fellow what I seen on TV, that they cut a chicken's head off, a rooster, and put his head back on, and he was normal.
I'll be darned.
And that involved nerves, see.
Right.
So they're working on it, and it may be just overnight happen, but when they do, well, they can correct the lens and run his eyes, see.
Right.
And no, I just hate I lost my boy. I just let her cry every day about it. But it's been close to 9 years, hasn't it?
Was he married?
Huh?
Was he married?
Oh
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes. He had a family. He's got 2 boys. I've got a boy and a girl.
Okay.
Felicia that lives down here. She lives here at Broken Bow.
His
Oh, she
ex-wife
does.
lives, his ex-wife lives at Broken Bow. That's the mother of his 2 children.
And old Chancey, he's a great big old boy.
He's about 25.
Wow.
He looks a lot like Dennis.
He comes to see me once in a while, and
He lives more.
Are y'all going to try to go down and see her, or
that's it.
you
We
wouldn't
don't
want to
know-
go
we
see
don't know
her?
where she lives.
Don't know.
I wish-
Chancey was the one that was telling us that Felicia was with her mother down here at Broken Bow.
Her mother's on down the next town.
Yeah.
Her stepdaddy works at the post office here in Broken Bow.
Oh.
Her husband working with the post office.
Pam's husband works at the post office here in Broken Bow.
Yes, I know, but how about Felicia's?
Felicia's husband is in Norman, and I don't know anything about
Is it
him.
too cold for you?
I'm freezing, aren't you?
Yeah, I know too. Well, what was it sitting on?
It was on 65, but I think
Oh,
we freeze
oh,
ourselves to
Lord,
death.
America, I'll be sitting on 80. I like 80.
We'll go outside in a minute. Pat may freeze, it might burn up in there, I don't know, she's wrapped up pretty good. Well, okay, Uncle Jesse, what was it like? You were one of the youngest ones. What was it like when you grew up with your family? What was that like?
Growing up with my family.
Yeah, what kind of, did you ever have any fun or do anything as a family, or did you just kind of just
Well,
grow up?
Well, you know, when I was growing up, you was lucky to have something to eat.
Yeah?
And we worked from daylight to dark.
What'd you work at?
Well, chopping cotton,
Picking cotton.
picking cotton, hoeing corn, and all those things, you know. And I remember working from daylight early, just as soon as I could see, till late that night, see. And
Maybe make $1.
I plowed with, we had an old tractor, and I cultivated 40, I believe, right close to 40 acres that day, you know.
Was this around Smithville, or was this around Woody Chapel?
With a chapel.
Woody Chapel.
We had nearly a 400-acre farm there.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I've often thought about it, had that old house there that was a boxcar house, you know, with a 2-room.
Yeah.
And it didn't have no ceiling in it or nothing, just a big old boards. It was cut and swayed, and they were 3-inch boards, and they was 12 inches or 14, and they just cut the ends of them, and that's the slope of the roof, see, a tar paper roof. I remember one time it come a hailstorm, and Dad worked for the longest tarring the holes up, you know, that big old hail hit it, and I don't know, you know, I've often thought about it. I remember when when I went to work down at, when partnership with Van Antwerp down at Rosedale, he talked to Dad about I was a hard worker or what, and Dad told him that I was the hardest working of the whole family, you know. But I don't know, you know, I've often thought about my work. I've always worked hard.
Didn't have
I
time
still
for
can't.
that.
I still can't sit at the house and not do nothing. I got a great big garden, and
Yeah.
I got corn up that high and tomatoes
Great.
almost that high.
I'll be down to get those tomatoes.
Big old onions. I'll let you look at them.
Y'all will look at them. Jeannie's got a huge garden. You know, Jeannie's got a garden. Jeannie and Mom have a garden
Yeah.
this year that's looking good. Were your brothers and sisters mean to you growing up? Because you were one of the youngest ones. You were the
I was
youngest.
the 8th child, so
Yeah.
there was 10 of us children, and I was the 8th one, and there was 2 younger than me, Gracie and Donald
Right.
was younger, and Gracie was born, she was born down here, Clayton or somewhere. I don't think she was born here at Smithville. But I'll tell you, I don't know. I've often wondered about the family. Grace and I is the only one left, and out of 10 children. I was telling Chancey, I said, I'd heard he got drunk and lost his driving license. And I told him, I said, boy, you better leave that whiskey alone. I said, it's in your genes. I said, your grandpa, Charlie, he was an alcoholic.
Right.
And he made Leonard, his oldest grandson, he made him an alcoholic. And Marvin, before Marvin died, well, he was pretty well.
He was an alcoholic.
Yeah. And I told him,
Definitely.
I said, you better leave that alone. I said, it's in your gene. The first thing you know, you'll be. I was telling him what happened to Leonard. He rode out here to May and Gracie and wanted them to send him some money, and they came to me and wanted me to help him. I said, I wouldn't give him a penny. I said, he'd just get drunk. But they went, evidently, Carl said they went ahead and sent him some money. And he was in this recovery hospital, recovering from alcoholic. And Carl said he crawled out a window with his pajamas on, no identification, went and got drunk, and they found him in the street dead, and they didn't.
Who was this?
Leonard, that's the
Leonard.
oldest
Yeah.
brother. And we don't know, he was just a.
He's in an unmarked grave out in Arizona somewhere.
I remember one time, me and him was working on a job, and when they paid us, I don't know how much it was, probably $35, $40. They paid both of us, and he talked me out of my check. I'll pay you back.
Didn't see that,
And
did
he
you?
just got drunk. And that one time before, he wanted to know if I'd loan him some money, and I had $8. I let him out. I'll pay you back. I was telling Chancey about this, and I hear that Chancey quit drinking. I don't.
He told us Saturday when he was down there, he said, I don't buy that stuff no more.
Good
I
for
told him,
him.
I said, boy, I said, you'll wind up on Skid Row, you'll wind up in somewhere dead,
See what-
how many people that I've known that was alcoholics that pulled off of it for a few days and got drunk again and it killed them. And I don't know, that's what happened to different people that I know. I just,
Yeah.
Like Chancey this Thanksgiving, when they was down at the house.
yeah,
And he brought his girlfriend with him, and they went home that night, and her mother called and wanted to come and go shopping with her there for Thanksgiving. So she got up and got ready and left, and she got killed in a car accident.
Oh dear.
That's what threw Chancey. That's the reason he went to, he drank so much. That's about the best of him.
Yeah.
But
What do you know happened to Donald? Was he an alcoholic?
Donald? No, he was on drugs.
Drugs?
He was, let me tell you something, he come and lived with us down at Rosedale there for a while, and we had a lot of pecans. And
I remember
he picked up about 100 and maybe 125, 150 pounds. I said, why don't you bring them home? Oh, they'll be all right up there. And what he did then, well, he went up there and we went through Fred Reliant's place, and our pecans is just right off here up past his house. How come they didn't know he did this? Well, he spilt some of the pecans.
Right.
He went and pulled them pecans up there and went and sold them and got his drugs. And I went by there the next day, and there's a couple of gallons of pecans he spilt and didn't pick them up. And I know that's what he did, see.
Yeah.
And he had this car that he'd had a rebuilt motor put into it, and it was guaranteed. And he didn't check the oil in it, and he burned it up. And just things like that, and when he was out in California, and I suppose the drug boys that sold him drugs, he owed them some money. He asked Carl to send him $3,500. Was it $3,500?
I don't know.
I believe it was $3,500. And then we never did hear from him anymore. I just don't know whether.
Ronnie checked and found out where he was buried. I don't remember now. Where
Yeah, he was in the service. He was in Korea.
I think that's where he got
on drugs. And I don't know. It was sad. I hate to.
It is sad. We had Leonard in an unmarked grave in Arizona and Donald at the other end,
Yeah.
kind of. And then in between we had a lot of stuff going on too. What about Pokey, James Pokey? Do you remember him?
Oh yes, he was just 3 years older than me. He was. His birthday was on the 29th. Mine was on the 28th. That's
Of what?
He lacked one day of being
November.
exactly 3 years older. He died. He was 14, and I always thought that he got where he couldn't walk.
Did they say he had an enlarged heart?
A what?
Enlarged heart.
Yes, that's what I thought he had, was an enlarged heart. But Carl said it was something else. But I know it was he had an enlarged heart.
When were you born? November the what?
28.
24.
Okay, so he was born in 1921.
Yeah.
Okay. When was Gracie born? 2
Well,
years
she's
later.
3 years younger than me.
Okay.
It seemed like, let's see, here's a January.
See, Pokey was born 3 years younger than you. That'd be
Older.
Pokey was 3 years older than me.
older. Well, if he'd be born, you was born in 24, he'd be born in,
21.
no, it'd be the other way around, Glenda.
He'd be born in 21, you say?
21.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then Gracie was born in 27.
Oh, let's see, Gracie's,
27.
She's 2 years older than I am.
Okay, then 20, how old are you?
I'm 77, I'll be 78 in September.
Okay. Alright. And
Jessie
then,
always said Gracie was 3 years younger than him.
alright, and, alright,
but she was born somewhere, I don't know, it seems like
February,
it's
March,
January.
January, February, somewhere on there.
okay. So, you guys just worked growing up, you didn't have much fun. Did you go to church when you were young? Did the family go to church?
No, I've often thought about church when over at the old mission when they first built the church. They didn't, that being the 30s. Mother was, she was sitting on up close to about the second seat from the altar. And I'll never will forget what happened. They made an altar call, and the Lord was dealing with me so I had to hold the seat, keep going to the altar. And he showed me, said, I told him, I said, I couldn't get out, just in my mind talking to the Lord. He said, he just showed me how he just pushed him over, and I'd go right around this way. And I've often thought, I know Mother, the Lord was really dealing with Mother. She always said she was a Church of Christ, you know. And I don't know, I've often thought, well, if I went to the altar, maybe Mother would have went to the altar. And that's the first time I wouldn't have been over. We lived over at Old Fox then. I might have been 5, 6, might have been 7, you know, somewhere in that age. And I never will forget the feeling that I had. I had to hold the seat to keep them in front of me to keep them having to go to the altar. You know. And, as far as I know, Mother always felt like that she belonged to Church of Christ. I remember when Mother died, well, me and Carl was there with her. And when she died and drawed her last breath, well, something in me died, you know. I felt something die. And, I never forgot that, you know. And she just drawed her last breath and just gasped. And never fought back or nothing, you know. I was ever telling you about the fellow that they wanted me to go see it, Kenneth, Dinah's Kenneth. He wanted me to go see his dad.